to the very short time left, so I have to be brief as much as I can, and I'll just jump to conclusions. And the whole research paper is in the CD. The importance of the industry to the Egyptian economy. The textile and apparel industry is considered very important to the Egyptian economy. The social importance comes from the creation of a lot of job opportunities and income, as this sector occupies more than 1 million workers, and which is 30% of the labor force. Economically, it is the apparel and the textile and apparel sector is considered important, as the exports of textile and apparel sector have a share of 25% of the total exports in Egypt, and a value of $728 million in year 2001, making Egypt the 38th exporter country, which is not bad in position or rank. One way of assessing the comparative and competitive advantages to use Porter's diamond model. The Porter diamonds model, it looks as a model, and it shows the 4 very important conditions that should be strongly linked together. The 4 corners of the diamond are factors of production, demand conditions, related and supporting industries, firm strategy, and rivalry. It is sufficient to start international trade by exporting products that have comparative advantage, such as low labor costs or cheap raw material, but it is not enough to survive and keep in the position in this big international market. So countries or nations should seek the cost leadership to be competitive. They should seek competitive advantage, and there are 2 types of competitive advantage: either to seek cost price leadership or to seek a high qualified differentiated product, which is becoming very important for the future. In order to achieve competitive advantage, the 4 corners of Porter's model, or of this diamond model, should be strongly linked. And the system works as follows. By we cannot have high sophisticated demand without having, on the other hand, highly skilled labor. And on the other hand, the firm strategies should be strong, they should be good, and the existence of local competition can lead to the upgrading of the industry itself. Two Egyptian researchers have used Porter diamonds model in applying it to the Egyptian textile industry. And the final conclusion is we found that in each factor or condition there were positive signs and negative signs. And the final conclusion from what you see is that concerning human resources, we find, just because time is running, as an example, the human resources, we have a strong base of labor, we are positive in semi-skilled and skilled labor, positive in graduate supply, in reasonable quality, but we have a negative point in low labor productivity compared to other competitive countries such as China, and we have lack of research and development agency that all researchers and suffer from this, and even the companies suffer from this. And also lack of training centers, and a lot of training centers that already exist need to be upgraded. As you see, I will not read all the points because I don't have time for this, but as you see that in each point or condition we have concerning the Egyptian textile industry positive and negative signs that show that we are not bad in position, but we need a long way to be competitive and to upgrade our industry due to the obstacles and challenges that we saw in through the negative points. In the research paper, but I will say the final conclusion. There was an analysis to show Egypt's competitive situation in year 2001 and its ranking position among 130 countries in apparel exports. So the final conclusion that Egypt ranked in most of the apparel products, like woven apparel products, knitted apparel products, several kinds of apparel products, it was between 38 and 49 in ranking position among 130 countries that export apparel products. And this shows that we are not bad in position and rank. We are midway, but the industry needs to upgrade itself through innovation and by adopting the latest advanced technologies. Another analysis that also locates, I was trying to locate Egypt's competitive situation, was by using the revealed comparative advantage indicator or measurement. The degree of competitiveness of the Egyptian apparel exports to the world. The comparison. Three countries were selected for comparison. They were Turkey, Pakistan, and Tunisia. To have an objective comparison, they were selected for the following reasons. Due to their proximity to the EU, and because they are developing countries like Egypt, and the apparel industry and exports is very important to their economies as well to the Egyptian economy, and their exports are based on cotton as raw material, and also because the four of them are members of the World Trade Organization and have a free trade agreement with the EU. The RCA measurement, it shows the division of two ratios. The upper one is the value of the country's apparel exports to the world divided by the value of the country's exports of all goods to the world, and this indicates the relative importance of the country's apparel exports in the export structure of the country, divided by the importance of the world's apparel exports in the international structure of the exports. The result, if the RCA result is less than 1, this indicates that the country has got a comparative disadvantage. And if the RCA result is greater than 1, this indicates that the country has got a comparative advantage. The higher the RCA value, this indicates that the country tends to specialize in exporting and producing this apparel exports. Specialization means competitiveness. So, the table, this table shows that Egypt comes last in its revealed comparative advantage. But this does not mean that it has a comparative disadvantage. On the contrary, it has got a comparative advantage because its value is greater than 1, but it comes last. Tunisia shows the greatest value of revealed comparative advantage, which indicates that it tends to specialize in producing and exporting the apparel products. Finally, the final conclusion from my research is that Egypt is not bad in its ranking position concerning apparel exports, but it needs to upgrade itself to the higher level of international competitiveness to be like the other leading country in exporting apparel commodities. This is it is midway because there are several challenges that need to be solved. The first one is that we have a lot or many successful companies that export apparel products, and they are competitive and successful, and they export a good quality product to the external markets, but it is not enough. We need to increase the number of private successful companies. Chronic inefficiency in public sector companies exists, and so privatization needs to be accelerated and grow. We've got a weak supply chain in most clusters, or for example, in the apparel industry. In many, the apparel industry should have strong links to the rest of the industries concerning spinning, weaving, dyeing, and centers, design centers. So it should be a strong cluster. We are not talking about the apparel industry only, but we are talking about the apparel industry and its link to the rest of the supply chain and to the rest of the industries that are linked to this industry. Development of supporting institutions and industries is essential. Insufficient skilled labor, we need to increase training to have more skilled labor. And the industry needs to focus on exports to middle and top end of the textile and apparel market.